Another Monday. This one very cold. We're talking a high of 0.
Yeah.
14 to 20 below during the overnight. Up to 5 degrees tomorrow, but then all of a sudden Wednesday we're back towards 30.
Yeah, it's just over the day or two, but 7 below right now.
It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to bad news, happy music later on, the friggin' sports. We'll get to Second Floor Sarah. Talk about what's happening in the area this week. Obviously, lots of other stuff going on, not only in the area, but in the country. Inauguration Day. Talk about that. TikTok, big news this weekend. So your daughters are going to have a conniption. They okay? They got back
small blackout, I guess.
back to reality yesterday. They good?
Small blackout.
All right. They're breathing again?
Hey, you may want to check where you're headed today. Schools and other places, there are a lot of cancellations because of the weather, because we're talking about wind chills.
Well, and it's also
possibly 35 below.
Yeah, and it's also Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so obviously federal offices, a lot of stuff going to be closed.
A lot of schools are closed because of that. So.
Businesses, banks, check ahead, as Gene mentioned. Find them on their website or Facebook or whatever.
Between the holiday and the extreme cold, it could affect your plans today.
Could. We'll get to some Jerry Cantrell in just a bit. And, of course, if you need anything, find us online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
Are you experiencing TikTok detox? TikTok detox. Symptoms include phantom thumb scrolling, staring blankly at your locked phone, and whispering, "For you, page, come back." TikTok detox. Side effects include productivity, awkwardly dancing in grocery aisles, and trying to duet with your spouse. Treatment options may include breathing fresh air, talking to humans in person, or trying this thing called reading. Consult your friends if you still have any. Call today, because life after TikTok is possible. Maybe.
It's going to be okay. Everybody take a deep breath. Realize that TikTok came back. Was out for a couple of hours. You'll be okay. There are other platforms. Deep breaths. Let's not freak out.
We want to talk about criminal behavior. This right here. This is a crime. This is a crime against humanity.
Oh my God. It is not a crime against humanity. Get a hold of yourself. But it is back.
We're back! We're back! We're back! It's been a long 12 hours.
I can't believe how many people, were talking about this and caring about it like it was a big deal. But apparently, TikTok is back. Your daughters, they're good to go. They're ready. They're okay.
Yep. Well, it's weird. I mean, it's the whole thing is just weird. It's a platform, and that it could.
I don't know. Websites go away. It happens. I mean, things happen.
Not usually in this way.
Supreme Court ruling on Friday.
That's what I'm saying.
Meaning that TikTok would be banned in the U.S. It started to happen on Saturday night.
10 o'clock, something like that.
But yesterday it was restored for now. Trump apparently figured out a deal. Some sort of reprieve for 90 days. TikTok said yesterday it was restoring service in the U.S. after Trump intervened. In a message, they said, "We thank President Trump for allowing our service providers to provide TikTok to over 170 million Americans. Trump using a clause to grant a 90-day extension before the law goes into effect. He wanted TikTok to be available to broadcast his inauguration, which, of course, is today, and says that he's going to use those 90 days to try to make a deal to protect our national security. But for now, it's back, and people can go about their daily lives, get off the cliff. All right, it's going to be okay. There are plenty of other platforms. Inauguration somewhere around 11:30 Eastern time, so 10:30 our time.
Moving it inside.
Moving it inside because of the bitter cold.
Yep.
The proceedings initially going to take place on the west front of the U.S. Capitol, but Trump decided to move the ceremony inside the Capitol Rotunda because of the cold temps expected in Washington, D.C. today. I don't know what the temps are expected, but if they're anything like here.
24 degrees.
Big party last night with the village people up there dancing. Apparently Elon's kid stole the show. Everybody was enamored with him. Lots of cheering and yelling and hooting and hollering. But no time set in terms of how long it'll take for the inauguration ceremony to conclude. But The last time, it was about an hour when he took the oath of office back in 2017.
I think the whole day is full of things, though.
Oh, there's stuff going on all day. Yep. Stuff going on all day. And going to be, all over all the national news, any channel you're looking at, any streaming service, any kind of website. It's probably going to be a lot of Trump news today, inauguration news. Locally, an arrest was made yesterday of a man in La Crosse for an alleged homicide. Cody Allen in the La Crosse County Jail for what's being described as first-degree intentional homicide. No other information on the situation available, but there was a shooting on the north side on Saturday night in front of, I believe, the Vogue. And
I didn't realize that led to a death until I got here this morning.
Well, the police showed up, performed, according to the article that I read on Sunday, yesterday, life-saving, medical treatment, and then they sent him to the hospital, and it sounds like he must have died from his wounds. Elsewhere, a fire at Shooter's Showgirls. This is in Dunn County. The cause of the fire at Shooter's Showgirls in Dunn County now under investigation. At about 5 a.m. on Saturday, the Dunn County Sheriff's Office received a call, report of a building on fire. The building identified as Shooter's Showgirls strip club, town of Elk Mound. Crews arrived, the building fully engulfed in flames. Nobody hurt. Cause and origin of the fire still under investigation. Obviously, if you've got any info about any of that, they want you to contact the sheriff's office. But, sounds like, much like the fire at
the Black Horse.
This is going to be a complete loss for the strip club there in the town of Elk Mound. Shooter's Showgirls. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. My wife was kind of back and forth about the TikTok thing. I don't know how much she uses it. I don't have it at all. I've never been on it. I don't know. I don't do the app. I've seen videos, you know what I mean, like online or whatever, but your daughters were freaking out. They're okay now, though? Are they, trying to figure out other apps in case this happens again?
Well, there are other things that they watch, so Instagram Reels and all of that yesterday, so yeah, there's other platforms around, of course. They're not singularly on the internet.
Yeah, we were at the bar yesterday watching some football, and, much like me, there's a lot of people that are at the bar, older gentlemen for the most part.
Sure.
Don't have it on their phone, but they were talking about it, man. It was the topic du jour yesterday, this whole TikTok thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to them being very popular, obviously. When you get people that don't even use your product or service talking about it, that you're in the ether, man. You're floating around. We've got Lit in a couple of minutes, some sports on the way. Right now, it's Jerry Cantrell.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Blitz, my own worst enemy on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Lots of football this weekend.
You think?
Saturday and Sunday. NFL divisional round playoffs wrapping up yesterday. Or let's start on Saturday. Saturday, the Chiefs over the Texans. No big surprise in that one, 23-14. But boy, oh boy, there was an upset on Saturday night.
Yep.
As the Washington Commanders went into Detroit and beat the brakes off the number one seeded Lions, 45-31. Interceptions everywhere.
Yeah.
End zone. That was just crazy, man. Commanders went in there and spanked them on their bottom. I mean, don't get me wrong, Detroit put up some points, but seriously, Commanders looked really good.
They did.
Yesterday's action, the Eagles over the Rams, 28-22. And then in the night game, the Bills holding on to beat the Ravens 27-25. A dropped two-point conversion. He had the ball in his hands. He was there was no one around him. It would have counted. He just dropped it.
The whole season essentially comes down to this play for these two great teams. They'll roll, flip it. Got it. Oh, the ball was dropped. He had the two-point conversion in his hands. Andrews did not hold on. It's shocking.
Yeah, you could say it was shocking. It was a classic NFL matchup, though. You got two powerhouses in the AFC. You got the snow, the cold, the great quarterbacks. You've got a back-and-forth battle. You've got a team that's getting, right there, and you're close to forcing overtime. And then, guy drops it. Had it, too. Had it in his hands. Crazy. AFC and NFC championship games are next Sunday. starting with the Commanders at the Eagles. That'll be at 2 o'clock on Fox. I think everybody in America, except for Philly fans, are rooting for the Washington Commanders. I don't think anybody wants the Eagles to win, other than Eagles fans. And then you've got the big matchup, Buffalo Bills against the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. That is at 5:30 on CBS. That's going to be a huge game.
Yep.
Mahomes, Josh Allen, this generation's Brady Manning, whatever you want to refer to it as. But, yeah, it's going to be a hell of a matchup on Sunday. Bucks over the Raptors on Friday night, 131-12. Then they beat the 76ers yesterday, 123-109. They've now won 4 in a row. Bucks are rolling. They're off until Wednesday when they are in New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. That'll be a 7 p.m. tip. You know who else is rolling? The Badgers. 24th ranked Wisconsin Badgers.
Saturday.
Yeah, beating USC on Saturday, 84-69. It got close there for a minute. I think it was like right at the beginning of the second half. USC got within, I think, 4 or 5 points.
Yeah, it was like, come on, what's happening here?
And then the Badgers turned on the Jets and put it away. But Badgers staying out west. They're at UCLA tomorrow night at 8:30. That game will be on Peacock. And tonight, of course, the College Football National Championship is on ESPN. It's number 8, Ohio State, taking on number 7, Notre Dame, and that is at a 6:30 kickoff on ESPN tonight. A lot of sports balls going on this weekend. All of it. All of it. RockMornings.com if you want to listen to the show live or check out the daily podcast. You can also, of course, find our contact info there. Register to win prizes. Going to be cold today, so keep an eye on your people. Old people, young people, your pets.
Yeah, there's a lot of school cancellations and delays. There's a lot of businesses that are may have been affected anyway because of the holidays. So check where you're going in advance and make sure that I know a lot of districts that are closed for Martin Luther King Day, and if they aren't, they are closing because of the weather. So make sure that you know what's happening before you head out.
Yeah, check ahead before you head out if you got to go somewhere today. Obviously, not everything will be open because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day or because of the cold weather. So check ahead.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Ugly Kid Joe with Neighbor on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. I think Whitfield Crane celebrated a birthday over the weekend, frontman for Ugly Kid Joe. Obviously, the inauguration of Donald Trump is today. It'll be on all the major networks. Carrie Underwood going to sing America the Beautiful. Opera singer Christopher Macchio going to perform the national anthem.
All right.
TV coverage will begin, obviously, or probably already has begun on all the major networks. And the swearing-in ceremony expected to be somewhere around 11 a.m. our time, 10:30, 11. Also on TV tonight, 911 Lone Star returns to Fox, followed by the return of Rescue High Surf on Fox. Obviously, there will be a lot of inauguration coverage on the major networks over the next 24 hours or so. Jimmy Fallon tonight has got Colin Jost.
Leslie, are you having a good one? Are you having a good Valentine's Day?
I am now, you sexy dollop of Miracle Whip. I just want to spread you on my sandwich.
Also joining Jimmy Fallon tonight will be David Allen Greer.
I wrote a song about it, like the kid here go. I play guitar, but that is a guitar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Kimmel's got Don Cheadle and Pete Yorn. John Favreau is going to be on with Stephen Colbert.
Excuse me. Can you blow me where the Pampers is?
What?
What?
Can you blow me where the Pampers is? Can you show me where the campus is?
John Favreau going to be on with Stephen Colbert. Also on with Colbert tonight, John Lovitz.
And then I moved, you see, to Hollywood, and that's where I met my wife, Morgan Fairchild.
And on with Seth Meyers tonight, Christian Slater. So that's what's on the boob tube. We were busy most of the weekend, but we watched, I think it's 4 episodes. There's an SNL documentary.
Yeah, you were saying that on
Peacock.
Saturday night, and you
Yeah, so like the first episode, I think, like I said, I think there's 4 episodes right now. I think there's more coming. But the first episode was about some of the people who have auditioned and what that process is like for them.
Like the more famous people, or not necessarily?
So they had like Tracy Morgan, Sherry O'Terry. They had Jimmy Fallon, obviously. Some of the other, there wasn't a lot of classics. So like no Bill Murray, no Dan Aykroyd, no Chevy Chase. It was more from like the 90s up, a lot of the, more recent cast members. That was the first episode where they basically talked about, you come, you get the invite, you go and you do 5 minutes in front of, a bunch of people that are producers or talent scouts for the show, or Lorne Michaels, obviously. And all of them said that it's terrifying because you're up there doing characters and comedy and no one's laughing. Like there's no audience and you might get a ha or something like that. And a lot of these people, like Bobby Monahan and several, Bowen Yang, talking about, thinking you're bombing, you know what I mean? And like how you go through that process. And yeah, so that was the first episode. And then the second episode was about the writers and how they basically like how SNL goes from one Saturday night to the next Saturday night. And how that process happens, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of writing the skits, where the ideas come from, how they make all the things happen. They didn't delve too deep into like the production of like making the sets and stuff like that, but they did a little bit of a focus on some of the costume and makeup and all the stuff that has to happen. The third episode was completely about cowbell. And they had Will Ferrell and everybody else. And it was completely, they essentially said, like cowbell might be the most famous SNL skit of all time, which I know it's huge and I know it's popular and everybody knows it, but I don't know if I would put it up there. But they had a whole episode devoted to the cowbell sketch and how it all kind of came together, and Will and Christopher Walken, and apparently Walken not too happy about it.
Right.
He says, I'm trying to do serious stuff and I'm at, shows and theaters and performing, and people are yelling at me for cowbells and bringing cowbells to the shows and clanging them and stuff like that. So I don't think he's mad necessarily, but I think he doesn't understand maybe, like, look, I've been in movies and TV and all this.
I'm serious acting. So it was 4.
The fourth episode, which we watched yesterday, was about the lost year, if you will, which was 1985. So Lorne Michaels had quit and left SNL, and he returned in 85 to try and right the ship. It was sinking, and the cast that season was like John Lovitz in his first year, Damon Wayans, who famously ruined a skit live during the show and got fired like as he was walking off the stage. Like Lorne Michaels was so pissed. But yeah, so that was the fourth and final episode we watched, and it was good. It was interesting. It was funny.
Well, certainly, those behind the scenes are always like that. And this was like real footage and real conversations with real people that were part of it, as opposed to a reenactment, which is the other one, that's just the 90 minutes before the first
this
show.
Is a real in-depth docu-series about SNL. So if you've been a fan of SNL and you're interested in seeing some of that stuff, I think it's on Peacock, so we watched that this weekend. Would you indulge in anything?
Not really. We started watching Ted Lasso again on Friday night. And then tonight we have a Yellowstone event at our house. We're having a little Yellowstone thing. Christmas, I got a drink book of like cocktails from Yellowstone.
I
like
thought you were obsessed
scenes.
with the Vesper. I thought you couldn't get off the Vesper.
Well, that's a little, but this is a side note. It came with a couple little rocks glasses and like different scenes from the show. And then yesterday we were at Walmart, and they have frozen dinners, Yellowstone frozen dinners, which might be taking this whole thing a little too far.
Are you guys dressing up as your favorite character from the show?
We are not, but my daughter was like, oh, let's get those, and then we'll have so we're watching Yellowstone and eating microwave Yellowstone meals apparently tonight.
All right. Text from Paul said, good morning to the best morning show host, Gene. Was the top you had on Saturday night at the Bowling Smoker the one that Brian thought looked like it was from Dune? It was not.
Someone else asked me that at the bowling event, too. Is that your Dune sweater? I
said
no.
I thought it looked good. Didn't get a chance to talk to you, but I
it.
did with Brian. It was a great time. Yeah, we had a bowling charity fundraiser on Saturday night, and a lot of cool people, a lot of bowling, a lot of really good bowlers, a lot of 300s.
A lot of 300s this year.
Well, 9-pin taps, so a little easier than a...
True, but we don't usually have that many.
But no, and we had a blast. And that, Paul, that was not the Dune sweater. That sweater may never see the light of day if I'm around. That'll be
I definitely will wear it again. My daughter gave it to me for Christmas, but someone else asked me that too. So I don't know if it was the color on Saturday night or what, but they were curious. No,
but I did get some inside information on something else. I can give Gina a hard time about. She was telling my wife about something, and she didn't explicitly tell my wife not to say anything to me, and I overheard it. So now it's.
I'm okay with it. I wouldn't
you
have
were
to.
Freaking out. Dude.
I was.
You were freaking out. You're like, oh my God, don't tell him. No, don't tell him. Because I overheard you and her having some kind of goofy conversation about something you were trying, and I was like, oh, here we go. And I said, what are you trying? And my wife chimes up and says, oh, it's this Bloom thing. I'm like, what the hell is this? And it's some kind of gut health thing that you're trying?
Yes. It's very trendy. It's Bloom. It's.
Did you find out about it on TikTok?
No, my daughters and I have been talking about it. It's it's a powder. It's like a super.
It's like A1 greens, right?
Yes.
Where you put a scoop of it in some water and you
Yes.
drink it. It's supposed to be good for your gut health. Okay.
Yes, exactly like that.
Well, look, as a person who has battled, all sorts of different things with his colon and his bowels and all that stuff, I can't fault you for trying something, I guess.
I'm trying it.
Well, good luck.
This is week 2.
Is it working? Is anything happening?
We'll see.
All right. Thanks for the text, Paul. Find us online at rockmornings.com. Here is My Darkest Days.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
That is My Darkest Days with porn star dancing. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Bitterly cold today and tomorrow. 0 during the day today for a high. Looking at wind chills into the 20 below range during the overnights.
Yeah, cold weather advisory in effect until midnight-ish. It looks like winds as low as 35 below. Some sun, but it's not warming up much at all.
Somewhere around 5 degrees tomorrow with some sunshine. Thankfully, it looks like Wednesday we're getting back towards 30 degrees. But yeah, brutally cold. Some businesses closing because of that. Schools maybe delayed or closing because of that. Obviously, today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so a lot of banks and stuff like that going to be closed as well. Consider that if you're heading out today for errands or whatever you're doing. It's also Blue Monday. We're going to talk about that, the most depressing day of the year.
This weekend, by the way, it feels like is always super cold because we have our bowling tournament every year on this weekend. And I think every year it's been brutally cold. It's this Arctic air comes every year at the same weekend.
You need to make sure you got a really warm coat.
Which is why maybe it's Blue Monday.
Big puffy warm coat to wear.
That down.
Keep you warm. Also National Cheese Lovers Day. You love cheese?
I love cheese.
And National DJ Day.
How many flavors do you think you got in your fridge right now?
Well, I know there is a bag of shredded sharp cheddar cheese for like pizza and salads and whatnot, shredded cheese. There is a block of a goat cheese that I haven't opened yet. I think we got it at Christmas time. There's another block of like another aged cheddar that is open. And then there's like a cranberry walnut cheese spread that we've got. And then there's also, I don't know if you count cheese spreads, but then there's a port wine cheese spread.
Sure, yeah. Cheese spreads is cheese spreads.
And then I think there's a bag with some remnants of cheese curds from festival a couple of Fridays ago.
Multiples, that's good.
I got to say, don't get me wrong. I love the cheese curds. I wish they had them in smaller bags. It's just the two of us. So
Right. You get sick of cheese curds before you finish the bag?
You go home and, they're still fresh and squeaky and warm. And then you put them in the fridge, right? Just for keeping. And then I just I don't go back to the bag. You know what I mean? So I wish it was like a half bag,
I get that.
Because, like I said, you come home and you consume them when they're warm and fresh.
Or more like individual packs of them inside the pack.
Yeah, or like I said, like if you, they just offer the one size, though. That's all you got. You're right over there?
Yeah. Very itchy. Everything's so dry right now.
I got my wallet out. I got some ones if you're going to be doing that again.
Very itchy.
Right. We'll get to music from Rage Against the Machine next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. If you live in a neighborhood with a fire captain, you can probably assume that when a wildfire breaks out in your county, in your city, in your community,
that guy's going to be at work a lot.
That guy's probably going to be really busy, but is also a good resource if the fire tends to work its way towards your neighborhood, and that's exactly what happened in this L.A. Fire Department captain's neighborhood.
When I pulled up down the street, the whole other side of the block was an inferno. We were able to go up to the L.A. County Fire Station and secure some hose. We knew we had a fire hydrant out front. Made a good stand. The years of my experience and my brother's experience of being able to determine exactly where we were going to try to save. The bigger picture is we were able to pretty much keep it in backyards and saved about 14 houses on this block.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
1,400?
So he's a fire captain in L.A. His name is Dan Levens, and was able to save an entire block of his neighbors' homes from the Eaton fire. His brother, a firefighter as well, along with Dan's son, James, kept at it for 48 hours straight and saved 14 homes. James says he plans to follow in his dad's footsteps and be a firefighter someday, but this guy was relieved of duty, went home, right? So you can't work around the clock. Obviously, you're probably pretty busy battling fires.
48 hours? Well, I know some of them haven't slept, and here you go. This guy
got a chance to go home and maybe catch some sleep and see his family and, you know, and try to keep them safe and figure.
Didn't.
And when he got there, obviously saw the fire starting to creep into his neighborhood. Called his brother, who's also a L.A. Fire Department firefighter, for help, along with his son. And the three of them stayed in the neighborhood to ensure that the fire did not spread to more homes. Secured hundreds of yards worth of hose from a nearby L.A. County fire station, hooked it up to the hydrant on his street, and for over 48 hours, the three of them stayed awake to battle the fire, trying to save as many homes as they could. He said, "It's great what I could save, but I'm always questioning myself, thinking, could I have done more? I do feel proud of what we were able to save, and all the neighbors are very thankful. We were pretty much able to keep the flames into the backyards and saved about 14 houses on the block." So lots of stories of heroism in L.A. as the wildfires still continue to be an issue, obviously. But, yeah, that guy going home from work, probably exhausted.
Oh, I'm sure that's what they were saying. 2 hours, maybe they get a break where they're just trying to, get some air and get some food and kind of
be home,
and then
be around his family.
Back at it again.
Crazy. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find us online at rockmornings.com. We've got music on the way from Lincoln Park and some stabbing westward. Second Floor Sarah is going to come down and join us just after 8 o'clock. Talk about what's happening in the area this week. Also get to Bad News, Happy Music, and the friggin' sports. Busy. 0 for a high today, 5 tomorrow. Oof.
Yes, extreme cold, extreme wind chills as well. It's affecting schools and businesses, so be careful. And less than a half an hour for frostbite? So
yeah, don't spend too much time outside if you don't have to.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
As we mentioned, it's Cheese Lovers Day. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It is DJ Day, National DJ Day. Also, it is Blue Monday. This apparently has been around for just about 2 decades. The most depressing day of the year.
Because it's a Monday?
Well, that certainly is a reason for it being Blue Monday, but it's typically the third Monday of January. That means it's always kind of synced up with Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but it's just coincidence. Blue Monday has been around ever since a British psychologist named Dr. Cliff Arnell came up with it about 20 years ago based on a strange formula that's supposed to calculate how sad or depressing any given day might be.
Okay. Is it because it's January? Is it
Number one, weather. Bad weather. It's cold, snow, sleet, rain, whatever. Obviously, if you live in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, I was just going to say, depending on where you live, okay.
Short days as well, right?
Think about a little bit longer, though. Walking the dogs the other night, the sun was setting and it was a gorgeous sunset, and that was later than, it has been by a little bit.
Enough time has passed since Christmas that you're no longer feeling the holiday
that part
vibes.
I get that.
And now all you have is debt and letdown, right? The bills are coming due. Yeah, you're broke. Your New Year's resolutions might have come to an end, may have failed.
Wasn't that the failing Friday last week?
Your motivation has hit rock bottom. Maybe your team is out of the playoffs, right? Think about that this time of year, right? Big, huge matchups and a lot of letdown. And then realizing you're now facing down another year, an entire year of work ahead of you without summer or vacations in sight.
Yeah, that's this weekend. That was one of the conversations in our house. Where are we going this summer? What are we going to do this summer? Like, trying to have something to look forward to in that regard. But I suppose get some sunlight, maybe some vitamin D, eat well, stay connected with others, that kind of a thing to avoid the blues.
But yeah, they say that with all those things coupled together, that's why January, the third Monday in January, tends to be Blue Monday, the most depressing day of the year. If you actually look at mental health stats, however, there's no proof that today is any more depressing than an average day in January, but some of us tend to have less pep in our step this time of year. After it became a depressing holiday, the doctor who came up with it said, "It was never my intention to make the day sound negative, but to inspire people to take action and make bold life decisions for the year ahead." Mm-hmm. Physical activity, like going for a walk in the park, obviously.
Not today.
If you've got, a treadmill or something, maybe in the basement.
Not today.
That can help boost your endorphins. Staying connected with your friends and family, important. Taking time to relax and focus on self-care. Setting small, achievable goals. Planning ahead for brighter days. Or
that's what I think is a good
practicing some gratitude. Mm-hmm. Said those actions can help shift the focus towards positivity as opposed to being depressed and sad on Blue Monday.
Yeah, maybe have a conversation about what you're going to do this summer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a trip. It can just be, hey, well, it's, when we go fishing, we're out on the boat. That looking forward to those kinds of things.
Maybe, rewatch your favorite movie or TV series, binge that show.
Music that makes you feel good.
Hang out with your dogs, get some puppy kisses, that kind of stuff. My wife stayed up. So she's off today. For the national holiday for MLK Day. And, of course, I'm here at work. So when we got home last night after being out watching football, and, it gets to be about bedtime, I'm like, I'm going to bed. She stayed up. And then, of course, she comes into the room and she's got the two dogs. And the puppy hasn't seen me in several hours. And, it's pitch black in there. But I'm asleep and it's just all over my face. She's just standing on my head and just licking me. And
hey, you're here.
And I'm like, bro, I'm trying to sleep. And then she gets under the covers and is all right on top of me, and it's great. I love her to death, and she sleeps during the through the night still. It's been wonderful. But yeah, it's that whole middle of the night coming in and waking me up just so that she can announce her presence.
Hey, hi.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's also camera shy all of a sudden. Whenever she is doing something with the cat, which is what I really enjoy watching, they're playing together quite a bit. As soon as I get the phone out to videotape it, the activity ends. It comes to an end. She realizes that I'm trying to capture it, and for whatever reason, then becomes interested in what I'm doing, and comes over to the couch or wherever I'm at. Yeah, and just doesn't pay much attention to the cat. So
Juniper will not look at the phone.
Really?
Yeah, I mean the treats and stuff is hot, but otherwise she's constantly avoiding it. They know. I don't want to be on the internet. Stop it.
Yeah. Stop putting me on TikTok.
I'm shy.
Stabbing Westward coming up in just a bit. Right now, it's Lincoln Park.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. You can't talk about Blue Monday without playing Blue Monday, right?
It's Blue Monday.
Some Orgy in Blue Monday, their cover of the 80s classic Blue Monday. Saw them on the Family Values tour many years ago.
I'm sure.
Korn and Ice Cube was on that one. Mm-hmm. Divisional round matchups over the weekend. Chiefs over the Texans, 23-14 on Saturday. The Commanders go into Detroit and beat the Lions, 45-31. Yesterday, the Eagles over the Rams, 28-22. The Bills managing to hold on and beat the Ravens, 27-25. The AFC and NFC championship games will be on Sunday. Starting with the Commanders at the Eagles, 2 o'clock on Fox. Then you got the Bills at the Chiefs, 5:30 on CBS. Big matchups next Sunday. Bucs have won 4 in a row, and they're off until, Wednesday, when they are in New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. That'll be a 7 p.m. tip. 24th ranked Wisconsin Badgers beat USC on Saturday, 84-69. They stay out west to face UCLA tomorrow night at 8:30 on Peacock. College Football National Championship tonight at 6:30 on ESPN. Number 8, Ohio State taking on number 7, Notre Dame. Roki Sasaki, the Japanese pitching prospect, has chosen the Dodgers for his major league team. Made the announcement on Instagram on Friday. Sasaki called this a, quote, very difficult decision, but I will do my best to make it the right decision when I look back after my baseball career. They're just getting everybody out there.
They sure are.
The lawyer for Xavier Lucas says the former Wisconsin player is transferring to Miami, even though the cornerback's former school never entered his name into the portal. Darren Heitner has been representing Lucas, who indicated on social media last month that Wisconsin was refusing to put his name in the portal and that it was hindering his ability to talk to other schools. Lucas had announced earlier in December that he planned to enter the portal. The NCAA issuing a statement on Friday saying that the NCAA rules do not prevent a student-athlete from unenrolling from an institution, enrolling at a new institution, and competing immediately. Now, Wisconsin and the Big Ten have issued statements expressing disagreement about how the University of Miami has handled the transfer. Yeah, they're talking possible tampering here, which appears to be a test case for the enforceability of NIL contracts. Lucas left the Badgers without officially entering the transfer portal, and his lawyers said publicly that he'll transfer to Miami. Wisconsin said in its statement that Lucas entered into a binding 2-year NIL agreement and a separate agreement with the school's collective. Wisconsin wants that agreement upheld and said the school will, quote, evaluate all options going forward, yada, yada, yada. It's a big mess. He wanted out. They say, look, dude, you had an agreement for 2 years, NIL, the whole 9 yards,
Yeah.
and he's like, I don't want to be here.
So, who wins that? How do they figure that out?
We'll find out. This is all playing out in front of us right now with him going to Miami and the Badgers and, the NCAA getting involved in the Big Ten. So, yeah, this might be a process here. We'll see. They're going to have to figure this NIL thing out, though. I mean, you've got players going everywhere all the time, and there's money, and it's just, they're talking about maybe a smaller window for NIL, something along those lines. Or a smaller window for the transfer portal where you can only do it, for a month or whatever. It's just, yeah. Last but not least, Dick Vitale will not be making his anticipated return to the booth next week to call Duke versus Wake Forest on ESPN after an accident in his Florida home. He announced on Saturday he had been hospitalized after he fell down in his home. Incident left him with new health challenges and physical limitations. But Dick Vitale, the legendary voice of college basketball,
awesome baby,
was going to come back.
Was supposed to return to the broadcast for the first time since 2023. Was going to call Duke Wake Forest on Saturday this week at Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He's 85, battled 4 different types of cancer over the last 3.5 years. Most recently, he underwent surgery in summer of last year after a biopsy on a lymph node in his neck showed cancer. He announced on January 8th, just a couple of weeks ago, that he was cancer-free, but now he's taken a fall in his home in Florida, and so it'll be a while before we see him back on the broadcast. Bummer.
That is a bummer.
Got some hailstorm in Daughtry on the way, and also got a request for some Ramon Ayala. We'll try to get to that as well.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Daughtry with The Dam on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Inauguration Day. Things getting ready there in Washington, D.C., moving it inside because of the weather. Should be at about, 11:30 our time, somewhere around
That's
there? 10:30?
my understanding.
10:30 our time?
There's a
10:30,
parade
11?
and all sorts of stuff today. So
I'm dancing with the Village People on stage last night.
Swearing-in ceremonies start to begin around 11:30 Eastern, so that would be 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30 our time, 11 o'clock, somewhere around there. All the major networks, of course, going to be carrying the inauguration. You playing a drinking game? You got any lined up?
No, I was planning to work today and check it
See
out.
the highlights when you get
way.
home?
Yeah, and I mean it'll be on here, so we walk past the TV that's out in the lobby area.
Current President Joe Biden, who obviously is on his way out, pardoned Dr. Anthony Fauci this morning, along with retired General Mark Milley and members of the House committee that investigated the January 6th attack on the Capitol, during his final hours to guard against potential revenge from the incoming Trump administration. The decision, of course, by Biden comes after Trump warned of an enemies list filled with those who have crossed him politically, sought to hold him accountable for the January 6th Capitol riot. Biden said in a statement earlier today, the issuance of these pardons should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that any individual engaged in any wrongdoing, nor should acceptance be misconstrued as an admission of guilt of any offense. Our nation owes these public servants a debt of gratitude for their tireless commitment to our country. The pardons, announced just hours before Biden is done being the president, have been obviously very heated debates, high levels of the White House.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Biden on his way out, Trump on his way in. The Obamas maybe getting divorced. Apparently that's the rumor, right? They're getting divorced. Some kind of birthday post apparently was because they were sitting across each other from the table.
I don't buy it, but yeah, it's out there.
You don't think it's happening?
I don't know. I'm not using Paris Hilton's opinions on things as my litmus test for the truth.
Oh, that's where it came from?
I don't know.
Paris Hilton?
Part of it.
Huh. Also, there's a new GOP bill that says service members of the military who refuse to get the COVID shot would be able to get their jobs back and back pay as well under this bill. A pair of Republicans introducing legislation that would offer service members who were fired over the military's COVID-19 vaccine mandates a chance to get their jobs back and receive pay. The Americans Act, put forth by Senator Ted Cruz from Texas and Representative Pat Harrigan, bans the Pentagon from instituting any additional COVID-19 vaccine mandates without congressional approval. It would also offer reinstatement to any service member who was discharged solely for their refusal of the COVID vaccine and credit them for their time of their involuntary separation for retirement pay. Things be a-changing.
Today, Martin Luther King Day, mail services not happening, although FedEx and UPS, I guess, are working as usual. Some financial services, so banks, stock exchange, that kind of stuff. Non-essential government offices like the DMV, for instance, is closed. Libraries, city offices, so if you have any business to do at your city government, that will likely be closed today. By the way, Martin Luther King Day is one of 7 free entrances to the national parks today. So if that's something you were planning to do, you get in free today.
Game rules. Take a sip when the president-elect takes the oath of office. Take a sip when you hear the phrase peaceful transition of power. Take a sip when a former president is shown on the TV screen.
Dude, you'd be drinking a lot at 10:30 this morning.
That's a good time to drink. It's 10:30 in the morning. Take a sip when a band begins to play. They're going to be able to fit all the brass instruments inside the rotunda?
The bottle right next to you.
Take 2 sips when the president makes a promise for the future. Take 2 sips when the first lady is mentioned by name. You got to hear Melania's name. Take 2 sips when a protest is shown or mentioned. I guess that depends on which station you're watching. Also, take 2 sips when a historical reference is made. Like Benjamin Franklin or something like that.
Washington's a party today. Apparently, there's various bars all over.
Oh, I'm sure they're cashing in, man. They're cashing in.
A number of them are having celebrations.
I think that's something we'll do when we retire. We've talked about retiring. Obviously, everybody dreams about what they're going to do. We want to get a RV and travel the country and go to ball games, go to breweries, do all that stuff. And I think one of the things I would like to do is all those, like go to Mardi Gras just to see it.
Yep.
Just one time and just say, okay, we did it. You know what I mean? Like, same with like going to the Capitol for inauguration, right? Not because I want to I care about who's president or whatever, but just to see it, just to witness it, be a part of the
history.
Same as like going to Punxsutawney, right? And seeing a little rat get woken up and finding out whether or not we're getting spring.
Well, we went to Washington, obviously, it was inauguration, but it's stunning and a gem of our country, obviously.
This drinking game says take a shot when the president gives a shout out to the opposition. Like, yo, Biden, what's up? Is Trump going to do that?
I don't think it's going down like that.
A celebrity appearance is made. Oof, they like some screen time. A new policy is announced. The president-elect's family is shown together. That's when you can take a shot.
Oh, okay.
And then finish your drink when the inauguration address concludes.
Yeah. They move on to the next
finish
thing.
your drink when fireworks or celebratory music mark the end of the event. But there's plenty of Inauguration Day drinking games online if you want to grab one. Spend your day watching TV and having some shots.
I got a little bit to do today. It's not having it at night. It's 10:30 in the morning.
Got a request for some Giovanni and the Hired Guns, Ramon Ayala.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is requested. Ramona Ayala. That is for T-Stet. Texted in, said, "Good morning, Brian and Gene. I was wondering if there was room on the playlist for some Giovanni and the Hired Guns. Ramona Ayala, have a good day, and thanks." You're welcome, T-Stet. Also a text from Paul earlier, wondering if the sweater you wore at the bowling outing on Saturday was your Dune sweatshirt. I said no, it was not. But apparently several people were wondering that as well.
A couple people asked me. I don't know if it was the color or what, but no.
It was
not.
Like greenish.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Brownish?
Was it brown?
Yeah. Are you colorblind?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was green.
A brownish, orangish kind of rust. How about rust?
Rust.
We'll go with rust.
All right. That was not the Dune sweater.
Mm-mm.
Again, I think the Dune sweater won't make an appearance in front of me ever again. I think you probably have some sort of self-consciousness about it now.
No, I don't care about that, but
Okay. Well, you're going to have to wear it somewhere, and someone's going to know.
I will.
They'll be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Plan on it. It's a gift.
Are they
I
making
like
it? They're going to be like, "They're making another Dune movie."
It's comfy.
They're filming here in Wisconsin.
I love it.
In the great state.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, T-Stat. Thank you, Paul. Find us online at rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch with us.
Rockfest lineup on Friday.
Yeah, that was pretty
the
sweet.
talk of the weekend.
Yeah, we got an email like 5 minutes before it happened, and then all of a sudden, bam, there it is. I tell you what, it seems like, and this is just, my gauge of it based on social media, right? It seemed like last year people were a little disappointed. Not everybody, just some people were a little disappointed in the lineup last year. But it seems like no one's disappointed in the lineup this year. I mean, you've got bands on there that a lot of bands that I've never seen. I mean, it looks like, Slaughter to Prevail is going to be freaking awesome on Thursday. I'm excited for that.
Mushroom Head?
Yeah, I've seen them many times.
Have you? Okay.
Yep. But obviously your headliners on Thursday, Rob Zombie with Knock Loose, Slaughter to Prevail, Architects, Crossfade, and Taproot, bringing that late 90s, early 2000s alternative rock on Thursday. I'm very excited for Manson on Friday. Honestly, I know that there's a lot of stuff out there about Manson, and I get it, but boy, oh boy, nobody performs like Marilyn Manson, and I've seen him numerous times over the years, so I'm excited for that one. Obviously, Five Finger Death Punch on Friday, In This Moment, Nothing More. You got Vended, which is Corey Taylor's kids' band, right?
Mm-hmm. The Mushroom Head. If you've
Mushroom
never
Head.
seen them, that should be a performance.
Also, on Saturday, Bad Omens, 3 Days Grace, Ja Rule, Poppy, Sick Puppies. They're all going to be there. And then the bonus bash is even stocked full of
With
kick-ass
Drowning
bands.
Pool, you mean?
And Eve 6. I would swallow my pride. I would keep it inside.
Mm-hmm. That's on Wednesday night. That's a bonus bash.
Rock-fest.com. You can see the lineup, get tickets. I wouldn't wait. Tickets are like, it feels like every time I see them post an update, it's like, oh, this section of tickets are sold out, or that section are sold out. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
James in Altoona said, don't sleep on August Burns Red. Yeah. There's so many bands, dude. It's like, I'm going to have a hard time seeing them all. You couple that with some work in between and, going here and going
And
there.
maybe getting some food or something.
Yeah, trying to get some food.
Take a shower.
Yeah, I missed out last year because my mom passed away, so we were traveling back and forth to New England a couple of times, and so Rockfest was not a thing for us last year, but we're hoping to...
Looking forward to it
barring
this year.
any sort of disaster, we're planning on being there this year, so... Buck Cherry in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m.
Buck Cherry, crazy bitch. Some girl I dated in my 20s. Probably a lot of girls I dated in my 20s.
Mm-hmm. They say the same thing about you.
Good, yeah. Healthy relationships there.
Yep.
A lot of growing, a lot of personal growth.
Mm-hmm. Learning about yourself.
A lot of introspection.
Digging deep,
yeah. Yeah, a lot of that. Let's see. Evan Peters is 38 years old.
Told you. We're going to hang out. We're going to watch a movie.
Take some pictures.
Take some pictures.
Riveting is Jeffrey Dahmer in that series on Netflix.
Ugh.
He's been in a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, most recently, people would remember him from playing Dahmer on Netflix. Matthew Tuck, Bullet for My Valentine guitarist, is 45. Rob Borden, the original drummer for Linkin Park, is 46. Sid Wilson, the DJ in Slipknot, number 0, 48. Skeet Ulrich is 55. He, of course, was one of the original killers in the first Scream movie.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah, his real name, by the way, not Skeet Ulrich. It's Brian Ray Trout. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. It does
not, yeah.
Tracy Guns of L.A. Guns is 59. He's also the Guns in Guns N' Roses, but didn't last very long. It ended up being Axl taking over. Rainn Wilson, Dwight Schrute from The Office, is also 59 today.
Why are all these people here? There's too many people on this earth. We need a new plague.
Not wrong, Gene, not wrong. The Star Child, Paul Stanley, 73 years old. Ian Hill, bass player for Judas Priest, is 74. Buzz Aldrin, 95, second man on the moon. And David Lynch would have been 79 today.
Oh,
he
no
died,
way, really?
last week, right?
Same day as
Euchre. David Lynch would have been 79, born on this day in 1946.
I think Euchre would have been 91 on next Sunday.
His birthday. Did you see all the stuff out in front of Miller Park?
I did.
Like all the beer cans and stuff, and they left the lights on the night that he passed away. I can't wait to see what they got planned. I know a lot of people are...
Well, they did a thing...
It's sad, it's tragic, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the Brewers have planned this season for commemorating... Obviously, the first game's going to be emotional, man.
Well, and did you see the Bucks did a thing on Saturday night, too, with a tribute?
A lot of inaugurations, of course, happening.
Oh, yeah.
On this day, January 20th. Mm-hmm. 64 years ago today, 1961, JFK took office.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
35th president of the United States said that at his inauguration speech.
Yeah.
Reagan, Ronnie Reagan.
That one was inside. I didn't realize that.
44 years ago today, 1981, Ronnie Reagan sworn in as the 40th president of the U.S. And shortly after, the hostages got released after over a year and some change in Iran. 1982, right in Des Moines, right down there in Des Moines.
In Iowa, what happened?
43 years ago today, Ozzy bit the head off a bat that some fan threw on stage during his concert in Des Moines. Ozzy said he thought it was a rubber bat, had to be hospitalized for rabies.
Did you see that woman that just passed away from rabies for the first one in like a long time in California? It got in her house and she tried to grab it and get it out. It bit her and she died. Took a month.
She didn't go get herself
She
looked
did.
at?
She was getting shots and stuff. It never worked. A month, dude.
Yeah. Say what you want.
Thanks.
Say what you want about bats. I know they're great for mosquitoes and all, but no. Bat in the house, killing it, dead. Not trying to capture it. 1983, Def Leppard released their third studio album, Pyromania. That was a pretty good one.
It has a few hits on it.
Yeah, a couple of hits. 36 years ago today, 1989, George Bush the Elder sworn in as the 41st president of the U.S.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
How'd that work out for you?
We don't have any more new taxes, I'm sure.
We never got them. Never.
No.
Not since then.
I don't think so.
1989, new taxes stopped.
Nope.
32 years ago today, 1993, Bill Clinton inaugurated as the 42nd U.S. president.
When I was in England, I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And didn't inhale,
I never
tried it again.
I like how he thought that not inhaling was going to bar him from being associated with marijuana.
To puff.
Yeah. 1998, Dawson's Creek debuted on the WB.
Holy shit, you're the Dawson. James Vanderbeek. And what's up with Pacey stealing Joey away from you? If I was you, I would have drowned his ass in the creek and shit.
You actually watched that show?
Yeah, for Joey, man. She is too fun.
20 years ago today, 2005, George W. Bush inaugurated as the president, second term.
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
Yeah, the internets, Gene. 2008, Breaking Bad premiered on AMC 17 years ago today.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science.
Yes, science.
Hashtag yeah, science.
Making meth, selling it, making money. Big storage locker full of cash. 16 years ago today, 2009, Barack Hussein Obama inaugurated as our president. First black president.
Ain't just me, by the way. I don't see you doing any better in the booty department.
Are you doing any better in the booty department?
I hope so.
All right. And 8 years ago today, 2017, Trump inaugurated as the president, his first term.
My original instinct was to pull out.
Didn't pull out, though.
Mm-mm.
It's a tried and
Stuck
true
it out.
method. Tried and true method, the
Yep.
pull-out method. And 3 years ago today, 2022, Meatloaf died at the age of 74.
In death, a member of Project Mayhem has a name.
His name is Robert Paulson.
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 What's his name?
Robert Paulson.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Fight Club? No?
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. Some stuff that happened on January 20th, along with some birthdays. And in just a few minutes, Second Floor Sarah, well prepared. Second Floor Sarah will join us to let us know what's happening in our area this week.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Sun is shining, but it ain't warming up. 0 for a high today. 14 to 20 below during the overnights. 5 degrees for a high tomorrow. Up near 30 by Wednesday.
Much better. So significant.
Yeah, big change. Our good friend Second Floor Sarah in studio to talk about what's happening in the area this week. You're carrying a piece of paper.
Old school.
I didn't even know that millennials knew how to use paper.
I'm not a millennial.
Well,
Don't get it twisted.
Whatever you are. You're a millennial.
Gen Z.
Gen Z?
So you had a
Even
big
worse.
weekend. You wearing a formal gown.
Yeah.
You
I
guys
thought I
went to
saw pictures of you in a dress on the internet.
Yeah.
Military
Doesn't
ball?
happen often. Yeah, military ball. Yep.
So your husband is in the military or a vet?
Yep, National Guard.
Okay, and so this is in Milwaukee, and you guys went and had a good time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, super good time.
What's this restaurant I got to eat at? It's Clicking Chicken?
Mad Rooster Cafe.
Mad
You gotta try
Rooster
it.
Cafe.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
There's
tell me
two
what-
locations in Milwaukee. We ate at the one over by American Family Field, but it was really, really good.
What's the motif? Is it just a bunch of roosters in there?
It's kind of like a
diner.
Yeah, it's a diner. It's kind of, I don't want to say farm themed. It certainly wasn't like a farm theme, but there was roosters everywhere and like old wood and stuff. So it was pretty cool.
What's their famous menu item? Most restaurants like that would have like one item that stands out. That's some of their signature
Yeah,
dish.
they had a lot of skillets and stuff that they were obviously like a breakfast skillet is top tier. My husband got a country fried pork chop with chorizo gravy
For
and
breakfast. Is that a
red
normal
potatoes.
breakfast for
It tasted like breakfast. I tried some. It was really good.
All right.
The red potatoes and the eggs
Yeah.
and pancakes and all the things. So, yeah, super, super good place.
And you
Nice to
you
eat.
went with some French toast? Is that what I heard?
Banana Foster's French toast. I'm a sweet person, though, so anything that's got sugar in it, I'm probably...
Oh, they got a big menu, as a matter of fact. Holy moly.
Yeah,
What's it called?
it's huge.
Chicken Rooster? Mad Rooster?
Mad Rooster Cafe. So if you're over going to a game maybe this year,
Yeah.
American Family Field, you want to check it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So big weekend in the big city.
Yep.
And back at it today up in the second floor. And what's going on in our area this
Yeah.
week?
So on Friday, head over to the Legion. They're doing Fish and Wings. So this is the Legion downtown here in La Crosse.
Was just there this past Friday for wrestling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fish and Wings, that doesn't sound like a bad combo to me. So, and they do carry out, so you don't even have to stay if you don't want to. So
Nice.
Carry out starts at 4:30, and that supports the Legion's programming. So super cool to support that. If you're into euchre, there's a euchre tournament going on at Genzi's Pub on Saturday. That starts at 6 p.m.
Ooh.
I'm a big euchre fan, so it sounds like something I would maybe
Bro,
be
I
up for
hate
if I had
euchre.
time.
I hate
Really?
it. You know why I hate it? It's because people you can't be taught euchre.
Yes, you can.
Shut your mouth.
I was
I'm not talking to you, Gene.
You can be taught.
No, you cannot, because anyone who tries to teach you how to play effing euchre just sucks at it. They're the worst teachers in the history. Every
Yeah.
time I've tried to learn how to play euchre, some a-hole just this, that, and the other thing, and then they deal the cards, they pick them up, they look at them, and then they win, and I don't know what the F is going on. Nothing happens. There's no playing of a game. They just lay the cards down and everyone loses. Except for some old lady who's got, like, hard candy in her purse. I don't know what the hell is going on with Euchre. It is the worst.
It is not.
You don't even play anything. You don't, I'm going trips and I got this and I got kitty and blah, blah, blah. I have no effing idea. And every time I've tried to have somebody teach me, they stink at it.
Well, they're really good at it and they go too fast, probably.
I think you just have to play.
They get, like, so frustrated. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And they're like, you didn't get it? No, I didn't get it.
You got the
Bitch, you've been playing for 70 years. Slow it down a little bit, Grandma.
Are you going to order it? You got Trump. You going to
Go
pick
fish.
it up?
That's me. Go fish. I got any sevens? I don't know what the hell's going on. They're like, and then they just lay the cards down and it's over.
I really think you just have to play with someone
this
like
one's
over
mine,
your
and I pick
shoulder.
up this and that. No. I'm going strong arm, whatever the hell they
alone. They go alone.
That's the one. I'm going alone over here, Edith. I'm going alone. Bro, I have no friggin' clue what's going on. Every time I've tried to learn it, and because I know it's popular here.
Yeah,
and
well,
it's
you
everywhere.
should learn it.
Well,
I have tried, and you people suck at teaching it. You need to, like, be born with it in your DNA, and I just don't have that gene. I do not have it. And every time, I can teach you. Yeah, and then I go and they go, and I have no clue what's going on.
It took me a solid 2 years probably to learn how to play. So, and it takes somebody over your shoulder just directing you the whole time. Get it on your phone. That's the easiest way I've learned to teach myself.
I got enough goddamn games on my phone. I don't need Euchre 2.
You do need an expert over your shoulder. That's the easy way to learn. Yeah.
Bro.
I can play it now.
Old ladies and cards and Euchre, I just can't. And I know it's super popular. I get it. Everybody's doing it. But I just can't. I, for the life of me, can't pick it up. I cannot. Every time they try to teach me, it's just the same damn thing. It's like too fast.
Well, maybe go to this event, and then you can play it there. With
Yeah,
other
that's what they
people.
want. They want me, the sucker. Yeah, showing up.
$10 entry and a free drink.
I'll just give them my $10 and say,
forget it.
I'm
show
going alone.
myself out.
I'm going alone to the bar to drink, and you play my hands. How about that? Can we just set up an AI chat GPT to play my hands for me since I can't figure it out at all? I mentally block it now, too, because it's pissed me off so many times. Because, you're at a party, people are doing it, and you're like, oh, what's that? And you're trying to figure it. And just every day, and they get, they just give you this, so look at this guy trying to learn how to play. They give you the attitude, the cold shoulder, and then when they do try to teach you, it's just like, what, are you dumb? You can't figure it out? It's just Euchre. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, I don't know how to play poker, if that's any consolation.
What?
So.
All right, so Euchre sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Euchre tournament at Genzi's on Saturday, $10 entry. What time does that start?
6 p.m.
Oh, late time. Late start.
Kind of a late start. So, another thing going on this weekend, if you're not going to the Riverfront Revolts, there is more music going around the area at Fox Hollow Banquet Hall starting at 6 p.m. You can see Hillbilly Rocket Ship and the BT Trio is going
I know those
on.
guys.
So, yeah, me too. Very, very familiar. And BT Trio is consisting of Bryce Tomaszewski and friends.
Yep.
So, kind of getting a new
Scooter.
name out there.
Our
So,
buddy Scooter.
Yeah.
The Hillbilly Rocket Ship, playing all your country sing-alongs and dance-alongs.
there is a cover charge, so pre-sale is at $10, and then the door is $20.
Yeah, we went out there and saw the Weathered Pigs, his other band, a couple weeks ago,
Very
back
good.
before Christmas, and had a blast. And their beer program, I've said this before and I'll say it again, if you're a fan of crafty beers like I am, they've got a hell of a lineup out there at Fox Hollow.
Lots of taps, lots.
Well, and canned beers too, yeah. Second floor, Sarah, thank you very much.
Of course.
Are you going to go to the Euchre tournament?
No, probably not.
No.
You looked beautiful in your dress at the military ball this
Thank
weekend.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
gorgeous.
Each and every Monday, she comes downstairs and lets us know what's happening in our area this week. It's Second Floor Sarah here on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to the friggin' sports after Bush.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Bush and Come Down. Got bad news, happy music on the way. Also, some 3 days grace in just a bit. But first, the friggin' sports! Brought to you by hockey.
As they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
Not too often that things happen for the first time ever in a sport like hockey where
they've been playing it for
been around for a long, long time.
The first time ever something happened?
Penguins goalie Alex...
Alex, what did he do?
Who the F is Alex? He became the first goalie in NHL history to have a goal and an assist Also made 40 saves when the Penguins beat the Sabres 5-2 on Friday night. I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to try. It's Nedeljkovic. Nedeljkovic?
Nope.
Nedeljkovic, maybe? Had a secondary assist on Cody Glass's goal with 8:17 left in the second period. Gave the Penguins a 3-1 lead. Then he scored when he sent the puck from behind the net down the ice into an empty netter with 2:42 left in the third.
And the Sabres play it back down to the Penguin zone. Nedeljkovic is going to go for the empty net. He's got a chance. Alex Nedeljkovic scores!
Up in around the boards like that. I was going, oh boy, this could be it. And he drained it.
Nedeljkovic. There we go. Thank you for the pronunciation. Again, first goalie in NHL history to have a goal and an assist in a game and make 40 saves. This guy setting records. Love it.
Dude, he was having a night, wasn't he?
Goalie goals are rare. It can happen. Obviously, you pull the other goalie.
Sure.
You're trailing late in the third, trying to get an extra guy out there on offense, crowd the net, all that stuff. Take as many shots as you can. This guy saw his opportunity, sent it down the ice, got the empty netter, also got the assist, and made 40 saves. Hell of a night for Alex Nedeljkovic.
Yep, he was on. He was clicking.
Friggin' sports brought to you by hockey. That guy. Got a text from someone said, note to self, never ask Brian to play Euchre. Yeah, sorry, Emily.
It's not for you.
I am a experience it kind of guy when I learn. I'm not very good at learning from watching YouTube videos or stuff like I need to do it myself a couple of times and then I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like maybe a little help along the way, a little guidance. But watching people try to teach you how to play Euchre,
they're really good at Euchre. Then you're
it's like trying to read your insurance policy to me. I check out, man, mentally. I'm gone.
Well, there's a lot of explanations for stuff, but if you're playing with really good people like my mom and my aunts and stuff, they don't even talk. They don't even tell you what Trump is.
I know.
Or
I'm well aware. I've gone through this situation several times.
They don't even say anything. They just put cards down and then it's over.
I'm like, what are you even doing? Why are we even playing anything? You're not even doing anything.
All, so there's
no strategy or anything. There's just this.
Well, there is all of that. You just don't get it. You don't get to learn it.
So you know what I want the smarminess. That's what I want. I want that level of smarminess that they have when they're trying to teach me. I want to be the smarmy one that's like, this idiot.
Don't even know.
This big dummy trying to learn how to play cards from us.
And they just knock on the table when it's... They knock or they pick it up and just...
And they're making all sorts of wacky sounds and stuff. And
they're not even talking.
No.
Yep. It's a knock.
Bringing in some hot dish and playing Euchre.
I've seen it.
3 Days Grace coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some #Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
I will never understand people like this.
What happened?
2 people from Oregon arrested for reportedly impersonating firefighters and using an illegitimate fire truck in the Palisades fire evacuation zone.
So they got a fake truck dressed as fake firemen and went to a danger zone to what, loot?
According to the Los Angeles police, some officers that were patrolling the area on Saturday noticed a fire truck that did not appear to be legitimate. Sheriff's deputies made contact with the individuals in the truck as they attempted to enter an evacuation zone. The occupants claimed to be from Roaring River Fire Department in Oregon, an agency the deputies said is not legitimate. Deputies also noticed that the individuals were both wearing turnout gear and CAL FIRE T-shirts. Also had helmets and radios in their possession. Both suspects, Dustin Nell and Jennifer Nell, arrested for impersonating a firefighter and entering an evacuation zone. The truck, which was purchased at an auction, was also impounded. By the way, Dustin Nell has a criminal history in Oregon for criminal mischief and arson. So this guy's coming down with a fake fire truck?
Is he just looking
to start more fires?
Or is the arson part of him like just entranced with seeing them and being a part of the action?
No idea. I get it, dude. People are obsessed with fires. But like, what are you doing, bro? Buying a fire truck at an auction so you can go to fireplaces and be around
Pretend
it,
to be
start
a fireman?
fire? Is he one of these people like in the movie where you start the fires so you can put them out?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Crazy. Nutso. This I can understand. However, this person I can get. I can understand the mentality of this person.
What's
this person in Illinois. A former daycare worker fired after security cameras caught them placing a 4-year-old in a trash can as punishment for not wanting to take a nap. Now look,
you can't do that.
I know you can't do it, but how many times have you thought when your kids are driving you up a wall, man, I would just love to throw you somewhere and put you away for a while. Can I
work at a daycare, didn't like this kid.
Used to work at the day. Let's clarify that. Former daycare worker. And we've seen daycares where they like duct tape the kids to the wall. I mean, they do some really heinous stuff to these kids. This guy just put the kid in a trash barrel and said, look,
what
man.
What do you mean by a trash barrel?
The incident occurred at Learning Lab Daycare where Justin Barnes and Monica Forte said they've been sending their children for nearly 2 years. And according to the family, after their 4-year-old child refused to take a nap, a daycare worker pulled the child from across the room, placed him into a trash can with the entire ordeal being captured on classroom security camera.
They should probably not work with kids anymore.
I understand that level of frustration, though, where you're like, and I don't even spend that much time around kids, but I know all too well. I'm like, look, I don't like kids. I don't like all the screaming and yelling. I don't want to be around them, so I don't be around kids. I just can't. They're not my jam, not my thing. This guy apparently, same boat, but needed a job really bad, and so he decided to work at a daycare. The couple said that they were unhappy with the incident itself, but also frustrated that despite there being multiple other employees in the room, they were not told about what happened until their child got home and explained the situation.
Their kid had to tell them?
The worker allegedly told the 4-year-old's parents that the whole thing was just a joke. Like, if you don't go to sleep, I'm going to put you in this trash can. Regardless of if she was joking or not, says the mom, you don't put anybody's kid in the garbage can. You work with kids. They should know how to de-escalate these certain situations.
Regardless if she was joking or not, you don't put anybody's child in the garbage can. You work with kids. I mean, you have to learn. They should know how to de-escalate these certain situations.
It was just way worse than I can imagine. I can just imagine, like, what was going through his head.
I'm sure the kid was like, what?
The daycare told the parents that the worker in question had been fired, but the parents want other witnesses to face some sort of repercussion as well. And according to a statement from the daycare, a second employee was also fired in connection with the incident. This is in Homewood, Illinois, at the Learning Lab Daycare, where they just put your kids in trash cans. I don't know, dude. Like
today's lesson is
a crib is a kennel without a top. I mean,
I know, I've always said that.
How is it any different? And people get mad when you put your kid in a kennel, or right? Like if you throw your kid in a kennel and you put pictures of them on the internet, people get pissed. But a crib ain't much different. What are they going to do? Jump out of the crib?
They're paying you to take care of your kid. You can't be doing that. And if it was just a joke and it only lasted for a second, why didn't somebody say anything?
Was it
about
an
that?
empty trash can or was it full of trash?
Well, that's another thing. But probably just don't do it. Symbolically, it's bad.
What's the worst burn you've ever suffered in your life? Do you have one that stands out, or is it just like a lot of hot pizza on the roof of your mouth, maybe like a coffee on your leg or something like that?
I didn't have one that's really bad, but I have two burn stories. One is my daughter spilled hot chocolate that was really, 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 really hot on her foot when she was little. Immediate emergency room, like permanent the whole
scarring.
skin. Yeah, permanent scarring. And my mom This one was terrible. She was, I think I might have told you this before, but she was like cooking beets in our pressure cooker. And she turned the lid and it exploded. And the hot liquid went all over, and she was burned from like her breasts down to her pelvic bone and all over our kitchen and linoleum. And I was in my bedroom, and I was probably 11 or 12, and I heard the scream, and I went out, and I had to run down the field road to get my dad on a tractor. And she couldn't wear pants. I mean, it was bad. Bad. It was for months and months.
Yeah. Wraps and all that
Oh,
stuff.
it was terrible. But what's this?
Well, this woman got burned by barbecue sauce and has now won a $2.8 million settlement.
Was it hot?
A restaurant chain in Texas got sued after their barbecue sauce caused serious burns to a woman's leg. Bill Miller Barbecue has about 80 locations in the San Antonio, Austin, and Corpus Christi area.
Yeah.
This woman apparently ordered 4 of their breakfast tacos along with a side of barbecue sauce. They handed it to her in a paper bag. Then she pulled over in the parking lot to eat her breakfast. The container, however, was so hot she dropped it when she went to pick it up with the barbecue sauce, spilled all over her thigh, causing second-degree burns. Lawyers said the safety guideline for the barbecue sauce is 135 degrees. They serve it at 189 degrees.
Okay, well, that's
For
hot.
reference, water boils at 212, so not that far off from boiling. The claim in the lawsuit says she suffered physical and mental pain, impairment, disfigurement, medical expenses, lost wages. Happened back in 2023, but of course these things take time. Jury just weighed in, calling the restaurant 100% negligent and gave her $2.8 million in damages.
Burn!
Yes. Burn. Barbecue sauce. Woofta. That's a bad one.
Sounds plenty hot.
189 degrees of barbecue sauce. Last but not least, who says that patriotism can't be sexy?
Is this flag underpants or something?
A patriotic porn star who went viral for her support of Donald Trump is now offering her services, her goods and services, to some of LA's first responders to thank them for handling the wildfires.
You can handle me?
Rochelle Ryan, who is one of the top MILF performers in the industry, expressed her thanks to the brave firefighters by offering to be their sugar mama in a recent interview. Hello. She said, quote, "God bless our first responders. That's all I can say. I want to be one of their sugar mamas. I want to take them out on a date." She said, "The things you've seen me doing on my OnlyFans, it would be my way of paying it forward to our first responders." By the way, MILF performers apparently are age 39. That's how old she is. Rochelle, 39. That's how old you got to be a MILF in the porn industry. She has earned a reputation as one of the most patriotic performers in the world of porn. In previous years, she has attended the Marine Corps Ball as a way of showing her support for the military. Hey, look, as a guy who brought a stripper to his prom, I wholeheartedly support this whole thing. I think it's great. She said, "It's truly an honor being in a room filled with so many selfless patriots that fight for our freedom. God bless America and our military. Some people spend an entire lifetime wondering if they made a difference in the world, but the Marines don't have that problem." Went viral last year for her support of the president-elect who's about to be sworn in.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "I think a lot of people in the adult film industry connect with Trump really well because he supports making America great again." That's what I think of when I think of porn, is making America great again.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure comes from a very giving place. Has nothing to do with anything about her. It's just it's a giving place.
Rochelle, by the way, currently nominated for Favorite MILF Star at the upcoming AVN Awards, a.k.a. the Oscars of Pornography, which will be held in Vegas on Saturday. And now she's offering to take some lucky firefighter from L.A. out on a date and do whatever it is porn stars do on dates.
I'm sure their wives and girlfriends are very appreciative.
Not all of them have wives and girlfriends. I wouldn't turn down a date with Rochelle. If I was single.
And a firefighter.
And
risking your life.
Yeah, sure.
Not sleeping and doing all the right. Then you would do that too.
She is milfy. I'll give her that. Well, good for her.
Make America great again.
She's working on it, one firefighter at a time.
I see that. Paying respect.
Bad news, happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Got a text from Emily. Said, note to self, never ask Brian to play Euchre. How about Waffle from Seven Dust? I said it was infuriating to try to learn to play Euchre from people. And she says, it's hard to find a patient teacher that will do it properly. I've been playing since I was a kid. My dad taught me. But here I am playing almost 30 years later and love it. And I said, yeah, there's no patient teachers, though. They're not. They just don't want to be bothered by you. They don't want to sit down and let you learn.
I'll teach you.
I don't want to learn from you.
Come on, I'll teach you.
Is it the gluten-free way of learning?
No, it's just regular old Mary Ellen.
Yeah, that's what I need. Your old-ass mom's teachings. I need that. Yeah, that's what
She'll
I need.
teach you how.
No, I won't be picking that up. Also wanted to hear some Seven Dust Waffle, so here you go, Emily.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Visit the website, rockmornings.com, to find all our contact info. Listen to the show live right there at rockmornings.com. Daily podcast, like and subscribe, all that crap.
I got an email from Doc regarding the bowling tournament that we had this past weekend.
Yes, charity bowling outing, our 9-pin tap tournament to raise money for the Rock Foundation. Lots of cool people hanging out, donating, helping, supporting. We appreciate it.
Yep, we've got first place went to the team Split Happens. I'll be in touch with you guys regarding your monetary prize. Second place was Little Rascals. Third place was Polished Balls. And fourth place was Bowling Broads and Paul. Those were the teams that won this past weekend. I'll be in touch with you with your winnings, where you can come pick up your cash.
Thank you again to everybody who came out on Saturday and bowled with us. It was a good time.
It was.
Thanks to Emily for the text about Seven Dust Waffle. Played that for you. Also letting me know that it takes a patient teacher to learn Euchre, and that's not going to happen, unfortunately. James in Altoona texting in this morning when we were talking about the Rockfest lineup getting dropped on Friday. He said, don't sleep on August Burns Red. It's my favorite band. I wish they had more singles on the radio.
Oh, really? Okay, good news. Good to know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see as many bands as I can that I haven't seen before this year. I mean, a lot of the bands I've seen in the past, especially the big ones, obviously, but there's always...
Embark on a new journey and...
Try to. It's tough. You got to get around. And there's work and, things that I got to do, but... T-Stat wanted to hear some Giovanni and the Hired Guns earlier. Ramon Ayala, we did that. Thank you, T-Stat. Also a text from Paul. Wanted to know if you were wearing the Dune sweater on Saturday at the bowling outing, and I said no.
That was not.
That one's got kind of a thing to it, too, with the zipper and all that.
It's just a zipper. It's just a zipper and a hood.
It's like...
See?
Oh, I know what... I've seen you wear that one before.
Oh, yeah.
But it's got kind of a... Yeah, it's got kind of a Handmaid's Tale kind of thing going on.
It does not.
Kind of.
No, it does not.
We should post your daily sweaters and see what people think about it.
Let's not.
See if I'm right.
You're not.
Jean's daily sweater post.
You're not right.
I bet if I Googled weird Handmaid's Tale sweaters, that one might be popping up.
It would not.
On an Etsy or something. Stitch Fix. Might be on one of them sites.
Mm-hmm.
Get the hottest new look in fashion today. Handmaid's Tale sweaters.
Nope. It's not even the right color or anything. It just has a hood, that's all.
But the zip and the crisscross thing, it's very Handmaid's-y.
Well, it wasn't the Dune sweater. It was a different one. You didn't even know the color of it this morning.
It was...
green, you said.
You were wearing it. That's you had it on.
It was brown.
Green. Something. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Have a great rest of your Monday. Stay warm. Stay inside if you can. It's going to be brutally cold today and tomorrow, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.